Können wir bitte Creative spielen? Ach, danke. Ja, auf.
Ach, Alter, bist du los? Nee, ich will immer mit dir reden.
I like your job.
Ach, Alter, bist du los? Nee, ich will immer mit dir reden.
I like your job.
Ich weiß nicht wieso, aber irgendwie.
Ich weiß schon, wo wir hingehen, Lennart.
Bin noch nicht drin.
Du hast ja langsames Internet als ich. Ha.
Nee, ich habe ausgemacht.
Wir gehen hier rein, Lennart. Komm. Da kann man selbst entscheiden, in welchen Kasten man geht. Das ist doch super. Alter, weißt du, wer da gerade war? Da war Benji.
Lass mal rausgehen, ich habe keinen Bock jetzt zu warten.
Och, Digga. Was willst du denn da spielen? Ich spiele keinen Boxfight.
Du kannst da drin bleiben, ich kann ja gucken, wie es ist.
Ja, wo gehen wir jetzt hin?
Neuen Täter? Hat irgendjemand eine Idee, was wir reinmachen können? Irgendwas? Was, niemand?
Hier müssen wir auch zugucken, Alter. Ich hasse mein Leben.
Das kann ich mir nicht mehr anhören. Was die da wollen, ist was soll das? Ich dachte, ich hätte hier kompetente Eltern. Good man, komm neue Server. I wouldn't really. Komm neu, mach mal neue Server. Halt die Fresse. Why, man?
Da kannst du bitte Heavy Metal machen, das ist so angesagt zur Zeit.
Ach komm Junge, du hast doch keine Ahnung. Kennst du Deutsch? Hast du schon mal was von Katergasowitz gehört? Das ist der Hit, mit dem ich aufgewachsen bin. Am besten noch über Streaming gehst du. Radio. Schon mal was vom Radio gehört?
Ja, warum?
Es gibt nichts Cooleres, als wie bei GTA das Radio anzumachen, Jam FM einzuschalten und einfach nur rumzucruisen.
Oh, ich hab mir doch eine Playlist zusammengestellt.
Oh, du bist so geschmacklos. Du hast einfach kein
Ah, ich bin drinnen.
Dichterin und Dichterin.
Okay, ich war noch nicht in Kasten Gelb. Okay. Hab ich ein Teammate? Oh, Digga, ich hab geilen Loot. Lennart? Komm mal bei mir rein. Also Kleins, ich sagte, wenn die Runde vorbei ist, dann kannst du ja bei mir reinkommen. Wenn du
Ich guck dir
willst.
einfach zu.
Ja, guck den geilen Leuten zu, die es sich verdient haben, dass die Leute zugucken.
Was machst du so?
Gewinn, Digga. Ein Kill, Digga.
Ich sehe es. Du bist einfach eine Maschine.
Ach, was? Was da Fische gern? So 200 Leben wieder. Ein Kill? Digga, die Gegner sind ja komplett Lotz. Bam! Erste Runde, erster Sieg. Bam! Leider, wir müssen in der Team. Die Gegner sind so los. Die Gegner sind so los. Lennart, bist du schon drin? Wo gehst du rein? Wo gehst du
Ich
rein?
hab
Wo gehst du rein?
Standbild.
Ah, Bro.
Ja, cool.
Ich gehe in das
Ich hab ein
Rote
Game.
rein.
Doch
Ich
nicht. Ins Rote. In 3.
Ganz rot, ins Rote.
Okay.
Bei mir sind noch 2 drin. Hier. Nimm du die Heavy. Hier. Hier, nein. Hab ich dir Willst du Fisch haben? Ich hab noch einen Fisch. Warte. Okay. Okay, sie ist. Ich hab nur eine graue Farbe, ist egal. Wir werden schon trotzdem damit anfangen können, was.
Warte kurz.
Ja, was machen die Gegner? Der eine ist neben das Jump Hit einfach gesehen.
Als ob.
Vor uns kommt Gegner, Alter.
Einer hat 126er.
Stark. Von rechts, es kommt auch einer aus dem Turm, Digga, glaube ich. Ich weiß nicht, ob der aus dem Sturm ist. Und der eine Teammate muss von hinten aufpassen.
High Ground.
Ja, von 2 Seiten. Pass auf,
Ja, sind alle dead.
Digga, von überall halt. Das ist halt schade. Das Gute ist, dass wir immer in ein Team sein können, Lennart. Das ist geil. Oh mein Gott, oh mein Gott. Digga. Digga, was sind das für Bots? Er holt ihn einfach fast mit Minigun. Hast du verlassen, Lennart?
Nee.
Okay, gut. Hat sich so angehört. Jungs, ich kann doch noch nicht mit euch spielen.
Hey Freunde, was geht heute? Dani ist heute gewöhnlich unruhig. So sind also wenn sie sich prachtvoll. Ein gutes Zeichen. Prozessverdiener bewegt einen Haus und räumt diese verdreckte Küche auf. Immer nur online shoppen und Serien gucken. Kein Wunder, dass das ja alles so verkauft.
Bei welchem gehst du rein? Ich gehe bei Blau rein.
Das wäre.
Ja, das rechte, ganz rechte.
Ist voll.
Bro.
Ich bin jetzt ins Grüne gegangen.
Digga, die schnappen dir wirklich jeden Loot weg. Okay, dann sind wir leider so feine. Du dreckiges Arschloch. Nee, egal, Stadt nicht. Das ist eklig.
Und
Was
raus,
machst
schau.
du denn in deiner Box? Ich gehe jetzt auf dich, Digga.
Ich bin schon gelieft.
Warum?
Weil einer zu mir pusht, der komplett tryhard ist.
Achso. Egal. Nee, egal stimmt nicht, ne? Das ist eklig. Das ist ekelhaft. Ja, ekelhaft. Bist du wieder beigetreten?
Nee, du kannst erstmal spielen, ich muss was gucken.
Ja, da verlasse ich die Gruppe, da spiele ich mit den anderen.
Nee, warte kurz.
Ja, laser mich halt noch mehr.
Hi guys and girls and welcome back to Dr. Dave. So today we're going to be talking about dropped frames, skipped frames, lag within OBS or
Was? Er macht einen Bomb haben, ich
Streamlabs.
will nicht mehr spielen. Ich bin
So-
mit Tim so.
The easiest option to help
Lennart, können wir
with
was anderes spielen?
stutter etc. is
Salutations all, my name is Doofus and today I'm going to be going over how to achieve the best performance possible while using Open
Just
Broadcaster
Supreme.
software.
Up in those YouTube algorithms. Also, don't forget to subscribe and hit that little bell notification so you can see all the videos that I post in the future. Now let's get started. So down here, we start with settings, and then it's going to bring up our settings menu. Let's go to video. Now for very low-end PCs, you're going to want to consider gaming in 720p. I know your computer can probably handle gaming in 1080p, but when you're streaming at the same time, sometimes that bogs it down too much. So we're going to assume you have a pretty bad PC. If you have a little bit better PC than this, then you could change these settings
Lennart, ich
accordingly.
sitz mal kurz
So base
aus.
canvas resolution,
Der
let's
Lobby.
click that, go down to 720p. And then our output
Ich hol mir
scale
noch.
resolution, let's also match that at 720p.
Mach das.
That's going to provide much less effort for your computer to encode and stream it. Downscale filter, this doesn't necessarily matter since we're not scaling it, but you can try bicubic or bilinear. For a good rule of thumb, bilinear is for low-end PCs if you are scaling it, and this one right here is for high-end PCs. Since we're not scaling it, this is most likely not going to have any kind of effect on our computer, so we're just going to choose bicubic. Now for affiliates and non-affiliates, if you're not affiliated with Twitch, then your viewer doesn't have transcoding on your stream and they're relying on their internet connection to view your stuff the best possible. So usually the higher bitrate and the higher frame rate you throw at your viewer and you're not affiliated, then the harder time they're going to have watching your stream because they're going to see pixelation and stuttering. So for non-affiliated people, make sure you don't go above 30. For affiliated people, you can try 59.94. But that's only if you're
Machen nämlich da könnt ihr Standard-Skill als Creator eintragen. Vielen Dank, Freunde, dass ihr euch die Zeit genommen habt. Dauert genau eine Sekunde. Also Sach, macht kein Auge und helft den Mund der Lama. Ja, hallo Zuschauer, ich am Start heute mit einem neuen Video. Und zwar Jack und eine Waffe, das ist ein sehr guter Start, Freunde. Heute gibt es wirklich einige interessante Informationen. Mal zusehen, was wir Waffe kriegen. Haben wir gleich
Computer can handle it. So we're gonna go with 30. Go to output for me, and then go to output mode. Make sure that's in advanced. Make sure we're on our streaming tab, and by default, audio track 1 is chosen. Now here we come to the encoders. The default encoder is X264, and that means it's using your processor to encode your video and upload it and stream it to Twitch or YouTube or wherever you're streaming it. So this is all based upon processing power right here. I'm going to explain this one, then I'll explain the next one here in a bit. We're not rescaling it, so uncheck that, and it's going to keep it at 720p. If you are rescaling it, let's just say you're playing in 1080p and you're still downscaling it to 720p because you're not affiliated yet, make sure you check rescale output and then put it to 720p. But since our base canvas resolution already is in 720p, we don't need this checked. Rate control, you have 4 options down here. CBR means control bitrate. That just means you specify a bitrate, and OBS does its best at keeping that bitrate the exact same 100% of your stream. This is your best option for good quality and file size. Now for low-end PCs, you probably want to stick this around 2000. Anything lower, you'll start seeing a lot of pixelation. And if you're not affiliated, then you don't want to go above 3000 because your viewer is going to have a hard time watching your stream. So for non-affiliated and low-end PC, we're going to stick it around 2000. You can try 2500 if you want, but as you start messing with these settings, look down here at the bottom right and you'll see CPU usage percentage. You never want that to be above 90 as a good rule of thumb. So if you start seeing it hit 100, then you're doing something wrong. You need to lower some quality in settings. So if we go back up to rate control, if you choose ABR, which is average bitrate, you tell it a bitrate, and it does its best to keep it at that bitrate, but it has a little bit of leeway to go above and below the desired bitrate to make up for what's going on the screen. So it's a good little average bitrate. That's not a bad choice as well for non-affiliated streamers and low-end PC streamers. VBR is variable bitrate, and this one's a little more powerful PCs, for a little bit medium-end PCs to higher-end PCs. Variable bitrate lets you choose the bitrate, and of course, it has a little bit of leeway to go above and below, depending on what goes on in the screen. But it also lets you choose a CRF number, which is a control rate factor number, to keep the quality of the video at a certain desired point. And a CRF goes from 0 to 51, and the lower number you choose, the better quality and the better file size it's creating. So, for good PCs, you're probably looking at 10 to 15.
Hey Leute, einige fragen sich sicher schon, wann wir heute live gehen. Wir werden live gehen, sobald der Tim hier ankommt. Und zwar dann zum allerersten Mal live aus Köln. Denn wir haben das Streamingzimmer jetzt hier in meiner neuen Wohnung eingerichtet.
Gewitter im Kopf streamt jetzt in Köln, ne?
Ich weiß, bei Jan.
Jan hat das richtig gut aufgebaut, muss ich sagen. Ich wusste gar nicht, dass der sich so gut damit auskennt.
Hat sicherlich Tom gemacht. Tim gemacht. Tom wahrscheinlich.
Hey, er hat ja gesagt, er ist das erste Mal zum Livestream, ist er das erste Mal in Köln. Und er hat es auch schon vor Livestream gemacht. Rap-Update. Offizielle. Keine Macht mehr als Kapi.
Seit Montag ist die Kapi-Pizza da. Ich habe sie überall gesucht und nicht gefunden. Weiter. Aber die ist noch kalt und tiefgefroren.
Hast du schon die Kapi-Pizza gegessen? Lennart?
Nee, du?
Ich esse keine Pizza, wenn ich rausgehe.
Stimmt.
Ich kann sie vielleicht mal kosten, aber es wird nur...
15. For low-end PCs, you're probably going to want to choose around 25 to 30, but you probably don't even want to choose this option, honestly, for streaming, especially for low-end PCs. But if you do want to choose it, let's just say 25, and then watch your CPU usage down here, and then we'll go from there. And then we got control rate factor, which is the CRF number minus the bit rate entirely. This is for more high-end PCs, really good connections, gigabit connections basically, because CRF provides the best quality but the biggest file size. So you probably most likely don't even want to stream with this one at all. But if you do, then you're probably going to want to choose 25 to 30. But our best one, we're just going to choose CBR because that's a great one. Keep use custom buffer size unchecked. Keep keyframe interval at 0 auto. CPU usage. Now here's the thing about CPU usage. The higher you are at ultra fast, that means the less processing power it's going to use to encode, but your stream quality may suffer a little bit.
Need a professional logo for your brand? I've used the new Wix logo maker to create one for my startup. I'll show you how. First,
but your computer will be able to handle it. So for low-end PCs, you're going to want to stick it around super fast or very fast. As a good rule of thumb, you don't want to really do ultra fast because that's been known. You can check the internet, but ultra fast usually causes a little bit of issues sometimes. So as a good, really safe bet, super fast and very fast are something you want to stick around for low-end processors. Now, if you choose super fast or very fast and your processor's still barely going up to like 60%, you can go down to faster and then, work your way lower, because the lower you go, the more work your processor's going to have to do to encode it, but the better quality your stream is going to be. So I would say for a low-end PC, let's go with super fast. Profile. So the only two you need to worry about are main and high. High will basically make your stream easily more viewable and compatible with computers and PCs streaming and TV streaming. Main will be better for watching on phones if people watch their streams on phones, but it's going to suffer on your quality a little bit. So as a good rule of thumb, you probably just want to do high. Tune, don't worry about that. This is more proprietary stuff. You can keep that at none. And this option's down here. Don't worry about that. That's special stuff you don't even need to worry about because you'll never ever use it. And so that's the best stream settings for processor encoding. Now let's go click this option again and you're going to see another option here. Depending on your graphics card or your onboard graphics, this option may look a little different, but the options inside here are still the same. So I have a GTX graphics card, so I'm going to click that. And the options change a little bit, so I'll explain them. Rescale output stays the same. Rate control factor, 2 of them are the same and 2 of them change. CBR, control bitrate, stays the same, and it's still your best bet. VBR, we have the variable bitrate I explained earlier. You tell it a bitrate, and it goes above and beyond depending on what goes on in the screen. CQP stands for constant quantization parameter. That basically means it analyzes every frame and tries to match the quality for the previous frames. This is for pretty high-end PCs and people with really good internet connections. So for low-end PCs, you probably don't want to choose this one. But if you want to give it a shot, all power to you. I'd say keep this number around 25 to 30. And lossless. This is for the pristine golden PC. This is the best quality you can possibly have, but a massive file size. So you'll most...
Oh yeah,
also another thing, if you record editing program, the video will come out grayscale, so watch out for that. You'll have to recompress it into a different format to get some color back, but you'll experience some weird glitches. So I wouldn't record in this.
Face Clan is the bad flat of the world.
So we're going to choose CBR, and then we go down here. This is an option that's added when your encoder is changed from the processor. It's presets. They have a few presets built in, and the best one you want to choose is just default, honestly. You can try high quality and high performance, depending on your computer, and you just watch your CPU usage down here. If you're not peaking at 90 or around that area, all power to you, use one of these. These are really good presets, but default's probably your best bet for low-end PCs and non-affiliates specifically. Profile again, main and high. I would most likely choose high because that's the most compatible. Keep your level at auto, you don't have to worry about that. 2-pass encoding, you can keep that checked, but if you see your CPU spiking a little bit right here, uncheck that and that may help out a little bit. But again, we are using your graphics card to stream, and so unchecking that and checking that might not have an effect on your CPU usage, but it might have an effect on your gameplay. GPU, keep it at 0, defense, keep it at 0, and that's it. That's how you get the best streaming settings for low-end PCs for affiliates and non-affiliates using either your graphics card or
Die hat einfach schon jemand gekauft.
The more frequent I can do my giveaways, and the better the prizes will be. I also sell shirts and stuff on Amazon and TeePublic, so all the links will be in the description below. Thanks again for watching.
Alter, der Jogginganzug. Jetzt einkaufen. Oha. Weiß, rot, schwarz. Aber jetzt ist meine Größe 100 Pro. Noch heißt das direkt.
Ja, ich denke ganz anders wie normal.
Red erstmal Deutsch, du Schissfutzen, Schalker.
Gib mir doch Geld! Alter, der los!
Paluten hat ja Eis selbst gemacht.